The NFC Championship Game is the annual championship game of the National Football Conference and one of the two semi-final playoff games of the National Football League, the largest professional American football league in the United States. The game is played on the penultimate Sunday in January by the two remaining playoff teams, following the NFC postseason's first two rounds. The NFC champion then advances to face the winner of the AFC Championship game in the Super Bowl. The game was established as part of the 1970 merger between the NFL and the American Football League, with the merged league realigning into two conferences. Since 1984, each winner of the NFC Championship game has also received the George Halas Trophy, named after the founder and longtime owner of the Chicago Bears, George Halas. The first NFC Championship game was played following the 1970 regular season after the merger between the NFL and the American Football League. The game is considered the successor to the original NFL Championship, and its game results are listed with that of its predecessor in the annual NFL Record and Fact Book. Since the pre-merger NFL consisted of 6 more teams than the AFL, a realignment was done as part of the merger to create two conferences with an equal number of teams. The NFL's Baltimore Colts, the Cleveland Browns, and the Pittsburgh Steelers joined the 10 former AFL teams to form the AFC, while the remaining 13 pre-merger NFL clubs formed the NFC. Every NFC team has played in an NFC championship at least once. The Seattle Seahawks, who have been members in both the AFC and the NFC, hold the distinction of appearing in both conference title games. Only the Detroit Lions have yet to win or host an NFC championship game. The San Francisco 49ers have the most appearances in the NFC championship game at 16, and have hosted the most at 10. The Dallas Cowboys have won the most NFC championships at 8. The Los Angeles Rams and the Minnesota Vikings are the only two NFC teams to appear in at least one NFC championship game in every decade since 1970. The structure of the NFL playoffs has changed several times since 1970. At the end of each regular season, the top teams in the NFC qualify for the postseason, including all division champions, and the divisional round play in the NFC championship game, with the winner advancing to the Super Bowl. Initially, the site of the NFC Championship game was determined on a rotating basis. 10 since the 1975-76 season. The site of the game has been based on playoff seeding based on the regular season won-loss record, with the highest surviving seed hosting the game. A wildcard team can only host the game if both participants are wildcards. Such an instance has yet to occur in the NFL. Beginning with the 1984-85 NFL playoffs, the winner of the NFC Championship game has received the George Halas Trophy, named after the longtime owner and coach of the Chicago Bears, a charter member of the NFL. The original design consisted of a wooden base with a sculpted NFC logo in the front and a sculpture of various football players in the back. It, and the Lamar Hunt Trophy that is awarded to the AFC champion, were redesigned for the 2010-11 NFL playoffs by Tiffany & Co. at the request of the NFL in an attempt to make both awards more significant. The trophies are now a new silver design with the outline of a hollow football positioned on a small base to more closely resemble the Vince Lombardi Trophy, awarded to the winner of the Super Bowl. The George Halas Trophy should not be confused with the Newspaper Enterprise Association's George S. Halas Trophy, which was awarded to the NFL's Defensive Player of the Year from 1966 to 1996 at the Pro Football Writers Association's George S. Halas Courage Award. A. Overtime B. Includes appearances during their first tenure in Los Angeles, where they went 1-6 in NFC Championship games, and their period as the St. Louis Rams, where they went 2-0 in NFC Championship games. C. The Seahawks were members of the NFC in 1976 and then members of the AFC from 1977 to 2001, before rejoining the NFC in 2002, including their only appearance in the AFC Championship game. They hold a combined 3-1 record between both conference championship games. D. The team currently known as the Washington Football Team was known as the Washington Redskins at the time of all their NFC Championship appearances. In the sortable table below, teams are ordered first by number of appearances, then by number of wins, and finally by year of first appearance. In the season column, bold years indicate winning conference championship appearances. Notes.